Ladies and gentlemen, Six Fig Stock Trader here on YouTube. If you are following me, check me out on Twitter. I drop some hidden gems from time to time. We will also talk about my prediction for Bitcoin that I made yesterday, and we'll get into that. But for now, let's go ahead and look at CKB because I wanted to make a video on CKB and Voyager token tonight, and I thought I would just kill two birds with one stone. So CKB is still in an upward trend. And how do we know this? Well, we can look at when CKB bottomed in November of 2020 and where it bottomed in July of 21 and also December of 20. But we can see that this trend has been a major player for price action over the last almost a year. So currently, CKB is in this nasty little corrective wave pattern, and we are seeing a symmetrical triangle play out on a downward leg. So that usually indicates that we may see price action reverse. But I'm also kind of seeing some Elliott wave theory in here as well. So it wouldn't surprise me on the 12-hour chart at least to maybe bounce off of this 12-hour chart or off of this 200 moving average, excuse me. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if we come on down to this 0.01, 0.011-ish level. There's also one other thing that I wanted to point out with CKB. And at this time, CKB is somewhat kind of forming this falling wedge. So we can clearly see this. And if we can get a bounce off this lower trend line, that would be wonderful. But I'll take any price action to the north side at this time. And we can see that, let's look at a 1-hour chart of CKB. CKB price action has been squeezing. I've been keeping an eye on this all day, but we can see that the highs and lows are squeezing together, and that is the definition of a squeeze. So I would say that we will see price action make a decision on direction here rather quickly, and we might be looking at momentum to start heading downwards here actually, but we won't know until we know. So I would say by tomorrow at 6 a.m. or anytime from now until then, excuse me, so in the next probably 6 to 12 hours, we will see CKB make a hard break. So keep that in mind. We are kind of looking at the bigger picture being bullish as long as Bitcoin doesn't rain on our parade. So we'll look at Bitcoin towards the end of the video. Right now, we can look at CKB in a Fibonacci channel. And let's just check this out. So we are still trading in the upward trend, and there's really nothing stopping us from coming down but this trend line. And if we do break this trend line at about a penny, sad to say, but we will be in price discovery mode to the downside. We might be able to run a little Gartley pattern on this, but I'm not going to right now, given what we just discussed. So CKB, I mean, it is what it is. I do know that the Cardano Foundation is having a conference right now. Maybe they'll talk about CKB. That would be nice. I do know that Nervous Network and Cardano have associations together. So that will kind of wrap up CKB right now. Let's move over to Voyager token. And, I was thinking about Voyager token the other day. And as we can see, there has been an absolute butchering of the price tag on Voyager token since the token swap. But I will say that leadership at Voyager have made a wide decision. Now, to try and sway price action of a coin, of a stock, takes tremendous momentum and effort. So when they did release this loyalty program, whatever it was, back in late September, this had a really nice effect, afterwards. We saw the high spike in price, and then it just seemed like everything dogged. But there is a bigger picture to Voyager token, and I dropped an update 5 hours ago telling everybody this. Hey, we have a falling wedge, kind of similar to CKB. And the real interesting thing about this whole incident with Voyager token and their rewards program being released when it was, I definitely think that it was a clear effort to try and pull the price tag back up. So with that said, we can definitely see that we have some great momentum and stuff like that starting to build downwards. Voyager releases the VLP rewards and all that stuff. It's putting the brakes on price action. What do we see? This falling wedge occur, and this is a great indicator that price will reverse and start heading to the upside. So it is what it is. That's just my observation on Voyager token right now. And it does look like price action squeezed a little bit here the last few hours. And it almost looks like we could be heading up to test this 50 moving average at about $2.40, $2.41, somewhere in there. Ideally, we would like to kind of come down and bounce right out of this falling wedge. And I do think that Bitcoin is going to have an important role with this as well. So meaning if Bitcoin wets the bed, down we go to maybe retest this $2 area. But you can see as early as this morning, we hit $2.09 on VGX. So that was a heavy discount. But things are trending in the right direction, even though price, has taken a hit the last couple days. So because of this Voyager loyalty program that they released, we end up with this ending diagonal, and this could be the pivot point where we start to see things improve pending Bitcoin. Another thing that I just wanted to point out was that if this falling wedge does check out, we may be seeing some sort of an inverse head and shoulders occur. And this would be awesome to see. If we just kind of visualize this in our heads, we may see an impulse wave to the upside. Wouldn't surprise me, if we saw prices return back to this $3 level, within the next month or two. Again, this is pending Bitcoin and the fact that it has to really cooperate with the market. And let's just take a high level look at Bitcoin right now, because as you guys know, I've been fairly bearish on the market now for some time. And I want to make one thing clear is that, I'm not a bear or a bull. I'm both. So I don't know about you. I'm here to make some money. I'm certainly not going to trade in a way that will not allow me to do that. So yesterday, I put out a tweet saying we might be seeing Bitcoin sell off around 43,500 and retrace down to 39,500. And we can see this is the point where I made this prediction, somewhere 42,000 level. Let's see where Bitcoin went. So on the 1 hour chart, I believe that was on the 1 hour chart, 1 hour chart, 1 hour chart. So we can see that was right here, and I ended up picking the $43,500 level because I thought we might see a wick up to it. Now I'm arriving at this conclusion through a Gartley pattern. And so when we when we use Gartley, we're measuring from different points to get different Fibonacci retracement and extensions. So with that said, we can see that by measuring point A to point B, we almost had price action wick this, this 61.8 level. And in fact, if we just move this down a little bit to X, we can see that it did wick the 61.8 level. So that is good to see, but normally when we are looking for a C point, it can be from anywhere between 61.8 and 100%. A lot of times you'll see this stuff retrace 61.8 level or 786. So I just kind of picked the happy medium. But with that said, Gartley has been spot on as of right now in this little pattern. And what we are seeing, or what I think we are seeing, is this little corrective wave. And I do think that we will arrive down to this 39,600-ish level. And we can get this measurement by measuring from B to A. And the 127 down here is a very common place for price to retrace to. This is what we're looking as long as all this stuff is lining up, which it is. So with that said, Bitcoin is in a squeeze, just like CKB, just like Voyager token. And it's really translating through the market. But we are kind of seeing a break of this symmetrical triangle. And I do think that we will likely see price action sink to the downside. So let's see here. I'm just going to look at the chat. Okay, so we've got, yep, so Crypto Airborne has the Cardano Summit or conference on right now. He is also asking for Cardano, so we will look at ADA. Bear with me 1 second here, folks. We'll pull up ADA. Since I'm live, might as well. I was just going to make some videos, and I thought, well, it would just be a lot easier to go live. Cardano, I think that there was a lot of anticipation building up for Cardano, and we are clearly seeing this. People are possibly starting to sell the news, but Cardano is kind of in this ending diagonal pattern, and I'm not really liking that too much. So I do think that, well, I mean, it's tough to make the argument that Cardano will sell off at this point. We can see on the 1 hour chart, bears are pushing price action right down to this trend line here, and the bulls are buying it back up. So it's going to be an interesting few hours for Cardano. I would say within the next 4 to 6 hours, excuse me, we will know if we are going to bounce off this 200 on the 1 hour chart. So just looking at the comments section here. So this is a very bearish pattern that ADA is in right now. And like I said, it could just be one of those buy the rumor, sell the news type of events. And I do thank you for the tip, Crypto Airborne. You did not have to do that, but it is what it is. Let's look at, can you take a quick look at Cody and FTM? Take a peek at this. Oh my goodness. Well, congratulations to the Cody holders. This is awesome. What I'm seeing right out of the gates here is classic Elliott wave theory. And I love Elliott wave theory because this is definitely one of the markets, and we're not talking crypto market, we're talking crypto market, Forex, commodities, stocks. I mean, everything moves to this natural rhythm of Elliott wave theory. And it's always cool to see this play out on the charts. Let's kind of see if there was any indicators as to, what would have led to this explosion in price tag? This thing looks like it's 2x'd in the last couple days. So like, that's awesome. Let's look at this on the 1-day chart. Crypto Airborne donates another $5 and says, I forgot to ask, how is the rash? Wow. Well, the rash has gotten worse since I was hanging out with you the other day. So I'm not sure what you're spreading around, but it's getting pretty crazy. On Cody, we can see the clear inverse head and shoulders that led to this rise in price. And is this thing in price discovery mode? So TradingView only has price going back to June of 19. So Cody is in price discovery mode at one point in time today, which is great to see. 50 cents. I don't know anything about this coin, but I'm just trying to look at some other stuff here. We'll keep this very short on Cody. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. This is a huge impulse wave to the upside. So I don't know. Let's look at this and see. I mean, you could very well argue that this 127 spot might have been the top, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing run up to the 161.8 pending price stabilization. I mean, right now we are kind of noticing a possible head and shoulders formation. I do think that this thing might retest the 60 cent level. Who knows? Let's see. What do we got? FTM. FTM. Somebody help me out in the comments section below what this is, what this stands for. Is this Phantom? Is this the right one? I've never heard of this one at all either. Let's look at this on a high level. This has been around a while. Maybe. This is another. Okay, so November of 2018. Clear as day again. So March 20th, we've got this Elliott wave theory to the upside. So it wouldn't surprise me if FTM kind of goes through a little consolidation right now. That would not surprise me after making this run up. Usually what we will see is some sort of ABC or ABCDE pattern. And it kind of looks like we have seen a little bit of that on the daily chart, and price is squeezing on this. So we are moving in towards the cloud, moving in towards this 50 moving average. And we can see that after it ran up here earlier on, it did take a while for price action to kind of settle in before making another run up. Let's just look at this quick. Bear with me 1 second, folks. So I'm almost curious here. If I pick this point here, bear with me 1 second. We're going to do some crazy stuff right now. So this is my target point right here where I'm going to draw X. And what I'm thinking here is that we are going to throw up a little Gartley and try to predict where C will land. Oops. I suppose it helps if I have the right pattern selected. So this is going to be a very bold prediction. I don't think Phantom is done running quite yet, but it could be. So let's look at this. So if Phantom, so we saw price come back down. We saw it come back up here. So this could, in fact, be point C. So Phantom may be on the way down, but let's look at this from a retracement side of things here too. Okay, so here we have a confirmation. This is Gartley, in my opinion. We have a confirmation. Price action came down to This 61.8, it cannot go lower than the 78.6. So with that said, we've got a zone up here, and we've got a zone down here. And this is going to be an interesting play. And don't base your TA, your buying off any of this, please. This is for illustrative and educational purposes. So by measuring from B to A, we might be able to determine, might is the key word, where the next potential buy-in area might occur for Phantom. And based off this little spread here, it's going to be right around the 70-cent level. And that is pending that this price action doesn't move up and retest or extend higher than the $1.91 level. So, I mean, after a huge run up like this, we can see that, you know, in the last couple of weeks, this thing ran up to $1.96 and has come down to 95 cents at one point. So, you know, I guess one could argue that we may be seeing, you know, some sort of corrective wave like that to the downside. And that's just my best guess. And if I had to play this coin, this is maybe where I would consider getting in, pending the health of the market overall. So does anybody have any other crypto that they want me to take a peek at? I see we've got maybe around 18 viewers, somewhere in there on the stream. So welcome to everybody. And I'm just going to check a few different things here. So feel free to just drop in the live chat box. And yeah, smash that like button too. Appreciate it. I do appreciate you guys smashing that like button. And we do have, you know, Crypto Airborne in here with a nasty rash. And, you know, I was looking at attempting a Gartley on Voyager token. But there is just nothing for me to really kind of anchor these points to. So we can just kind of take a peek at this again. And what I really need here is like a low like this or a high like this and another high like this, but I can't have this C point this low. So, I mean, it's maybe we could put something together if we had more data on Voyager token, but for now, there's just nothing. So we're looking, Mandip is asking for H bar. And you can see that I was messing with H bar a while ago. I don't remember, probably the last time I did a live stream with Crypto Airborne, actually. And at some point I drew up this TA on Hedera. And we actually might be, just looking at this right out of the gates, this may be, in fact, a Gartley pattern playing out with H bar. And like I said, I'm bearish on the market right now, and there's nothing wrong with that, but let's just break this down. I think a good entry point or an anchor point, we're going to be right in here somewhere. So this is going to be my x-axis. This is going to be my A, B, and C up here, probably right here, and then D is down here. So this is looking like a head and shoulders pattern, Crypto Airborne, absolutely. Yep, and this is why, because we have a very good neckline here. So we do have this neckline of a head and shoulders, and we look like that this thing is going to trend down more than likely on the 4-hour chart. We have the 50 creeping on the 200. This is most likely going to push price action to the downside, but let's throw up some Gartley on this, because here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this area to be in a 61.8 to 70.86 or 786 range, and the same with right down here. I'm looking for these wicks to be right in that area. Like I said, this is going to be our anchor point somewhere in here. And let's just go ahead and draw this up. And we might see D down here somewhere. And this anchor point, you know, may be down here. So let's go ahead, and what I want to see is the 61.8, 786 right here. So we are not seeing that. So it is close. It is close. But we came up and touched the 50% line. So this is not a true Gartley pattern. So that is interesting. So let's get rid of this and just kind of whittle away at this. But yeah, like Crypto Airborne said, we are seeing a big symmetrical triangle, head and shoulders pattern. So that is not good. We are likely, in my opinion, to see H bar perform this corrective wave. And where can we expect this to maybe run down to is probably a good question we should try to figure out. So I'm thinking maybe the 20-cent region for H bar at this time. 20 cents may be the point that this comes down to. I do think that this 28-cent level is going to be a good level for H bar. You can just see the amount of support and resistance this thing has had right at that 28-cent level. So we might end up building a base on that, but man, I don't know. Not going to spend too much more time on H bar. Does anybody else in the comment section have any other crypto that they want to take a peek at? We'll go ahead and check it out. Let's see here. Anybody? Well, I think I will probably wrap it up then. Let's take a peek at Bitcoin again for S's and giggles. And we can see what's happening. So see this on like a 10-minute chart. So you can kind of see that either Bitcoin is starting to fall out of this symmetrical triangle and start working its way down. But we need more time. If you start seeing Bitcoin trend lower than this $40,000 level, I do think it is likely to hit this $39,000 level within the next couple days. And Crypto Airborne says, oh, cummies. Okay, we're going to look at that. We're going to have to get the X-rated version of Six Fig Stock Trader up and on the screen here. But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap this up because I'm mumbling now. And so I just want to give a huge shout out to all the Patreons. Thank you all for supporting the channel. If you're interested, it's $3 a month. Get your name, business name, YouTube channel name, whatever it is that you want on this page. So I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and maybe I'll do some TA tomorrow. I'll update on my Twitter page as well. So if you want to check me out on Twitter, it's at Real6Fig, and I will update my Twitter handle with what VGX is doing and CKB and Bitcoin. So with that said, folks, I'm going to end this one right now.